It's a danger zone. You in the middle of a war, don't leave your banger home.
Alice.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
That's
My name is ATM Tik with All Time Media. First time meeting. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Alice. You're new to the channel, so give us a brief description about yourself.
Well, I'm from Florida originally, and I've lived in Philadelphia for about 7 years now.
Okay.
I moved up here for work, to work at a theater, which was good for a while. Unfortunately, this year the theater company went under. But that's what I like to do is work backstage.
Okay.
And
what you actually do in the theater?
Stage management. So.
All right.
Like writing the rehearsal reports and making sure the safety guidelines are followed, and organizing the light, set, sound, costumes, making sure everything runs smoothly. Okay,
so Alice, may I say your whole purpose of moving to Philadelphia was because of the job opportunity, or?
Yeah, I chose Philadelphia because it wasn't expensive like New York.
Yeah.
It had theater, not as cold as the Twin Cities or Chicago, and I like Philadelphia.
Okay. So the theater position isn't available right now, right?
Right, yeah, I did not work long enough to make union yet. I'd like to get back into it, but if I could say I do, last year I was diagnosed with some psychiatric issues, like bipolar schizophrenic.
Okay.
So I've been working with a psychiatrist. I haven't found any medications that work for me yet, but
yeah,
you have to be patient. Like I've been in support groups, and some people say it takes like years and years till they find the right cocktail for them. So I'm trying to not get discouraged and keep trying. So that's definitely something I have to solve first before I can get back to working consistently. Okay,
you got it. I wish you the best of luck with that, Alice.
Thank you.
You deserve to do the job that you love to do. How was growing up for you, Alice? Wait, first of all, how old are you?
27.
27? Okay. How was growing up for you, Alice? Can you take us there? How was growing up? Like, how was your childhood? Yeah. How was your childhood?
I had a wonderful childhood, actually. I had a very loving family. I was actually mostly raised by my grandparents.
Okay.
But unfortunately, a lot of my family's passed away now. So one thing I really learned in my childhood is to treasure the time with the people you're with, and to not take basic things for granted. Like my mom was disabled, and I also live with my uncle who is also disabled, physically and mentally. And so, like, something I learned, just if you can do something simple for a person, just do it. But like I could walk, and my mom and uncle couldn't, so just fetching things from the kitchen, or going to grab them things, or helping them get dressed or read a book. Just my life motto I have is, like, if you can do something for a person, especially if it's not too extravagant, it's pretty simple, to just do it. Like, don't ask for anything in return, or expect anything. Like, just because you can, like, if you can, then do it. Because there's people who don't have the same abilities as you, or the same circumstances as you, and if you're in a position to help somebody, just to do it, just because you can.
You definitely always gotta be thankful and blessed.
Yes, and that's something that I also learned, is just to be thankful that I can walk. Like my uncle, I don't know what it's called now. There's a different term for it, but he did have like mental retardation, and so even just being grateful for being able to communicate with people, being able to speak, and having your facilities with you, or like having a relative that like went through dementia. So just holding on to your memories while you can. And
can you repeat that? Mental retardation?
Yes, I think there's a different term for it now.
And who has that? Who's that?
My uncle, who I lived, like, in my childhood home was my grandmother, who took care of us, and then it was my mom, who was disabled, and my uncle, who was disabled, and myself. And so my uncle was in a wheelchair and also mentally retarded. So we had very limited speech or communication abilities, or understanding. Like, he could understand like simple things, like, are you cold, are you hungry, or do you want to go outside? I used to spend a lot of time with my uncle. We used to watch cartoons together.
Okay.
That was one of my favorite things to do. So, but I had a very loving family, which
a loving family.
extraordinary.
What part of Florida you came from?
Tallahassee.
Okay, Hassy in the house.
Yeah.
How was school? How was you treated in school?
I actually, at first, like my elementary and middle school were amazing. I loved them. They were just the best schools ever. Like when I was a kid, I thought the kids not liking going to school was just a TV thing. But then I had to move away from Florida when I was 13 and actually spent 8th grade in a different school, and immediately I understood what it was about, because the school I moved to was not near the quality of the school that I came from. And so also being grateful for like the quality education I had when I was very young, and just having like everyone being excited to learn, or like being very engaged and having great teachers, instead of being in an environment where people were distracted or didn't want to be there. Or
how's your grades?
I have good grades.
Good grades, okay. Any trauma in your life?
Yes.
Hard times?
Yes, very many. Especially kind of in my teenage years and earlier 20s, like sexual assault or being kidnapped. Or
you was kidnapped before, Alice?
Yes, I was mistaken for somebody else, and after like 3 days they found the person that they were actually looking for and let me go. But that was a very terrifying.
When you was kidnapped, like how was you treated?
For the most part, I was left alone in like a concrete stone basement.
That's still severe though. Concrete.
Yeah, for like
basement.
hours and hours and hours, and not knowing if I would ever be able to leave. Or
was it like some type of human trafficking type of thing, or was it?
No, like I was very, very concerned about that. Thankfully, that didn't happen to me. I like they kept asking me where like a certain person was or where money was, that I honestly had absolutely no idea like what they were talking about. But eventually they did find the person who they were actually looking for.
Oh man.
And they let me go.
And they let you go?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Which I'm just grateful for that.
And Alice, on a sensitive topic, you brought up the sexual assaults.
Yes. I've had.
That's all right. You could be yourself. Take your time.
It's a bit. I don't like to think about it too much.
Yeah, I know.
Trying to get past it. I've had many people like approach me, and most of the time I say like, oh, thank you for the compliment, if they like call me like beautiful or and try to leave. But I've had one person like just force themselves on me, and thankfully after a little while, like someone else intervened and stopped them. But yeah, it's something I don't really like to dwell on.
I'm happy that person was there to stop that person.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So how you feel about Kensington, Alice?
About Kensington?
We out here now.
Yeah, I'm visiting a friend right now.
Okay.
So I'm not up here very often.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people in need, and I kind of wish the United States as a whole was more gracious and helpful to like the homeless or the mentally ill. Like there's shelters, but I haven't heard. You
have somewhere to stay, right? Correct?
Yes.
Or okay, good.
I do.
Good.
But I've seen many people who are out here on the streets, so I feel a little heartbroken.
You have any vices, Alice?
Advice?
No, vices, like
vices.
Yeah.
Smoking.
Okay, yeah. Smoking?
Yeah, smoke.
Cigarettes?
Yeah, cigarettes, and I don't drink.
Okay.
It's not a big advice. Sloth, sometimes, to be honest.
Okay.
I think sloth is my biggest vice.
Wait, what's that?
Sloth, like.
What's that?
Being too lazy.
Oh, okay, being lazy.
Like not motivated enough.
Yeah, what are you into? Are you like movies? Like what are you into?
Live performance. Like I like theater and dance.
Okay, live performance still,
and circus. Although I like being backstage.
Okay.
Not on stage. So I'm not as used to being on camera, but
You think about moving back to Florida, Alice?
Well, most of my family's passed away, so I don't have any family there anymore. Well, like one of the reasons why I moved to Philadelphia was even the public transportation. So like I don't own a car.
Yeah, oh yeah. I know. I used to live in Florida, and everything's 30 minutes plus or away from each other. Yeah. So yeah, you know, public transportation.
I like the city. Like there's like a lot of amenities. Yeah. Like it's actually probably not because I have Medicaid in Pennsylvania, but I wouldn't have it in Florida.
Okay, so health too.
So like healthcare is really important.
Alice, you're 27. You ever thought about starting a family of your own, like a husband, kids?
I personally don't.
Or wife and kids. I don't know which.
I would like to get married and have a wife one day. Although I personally don't want any kids. Yeah. But I know that my sister does, so I'm very excited to be an auntie. Okay. And I'd like if I have any friends who have kids, I'd love to be the babysitter because I like kids, but it's good if you can have them for a day or two and then you can give them back. Like kids are just a huge responsibility. Like your life ends. It's like not yours anymore. It's all about making their life the best that it can be. Yeah. And I've spent a lot of time, especially in my teenage years and my earlier 20s, helping out my family and helping out my friends and doing what I could for other people. So right now I'm actually at a point where I'm trying to do something for me and just benefit myself. And not feel like guilty or selfish about it. Just you have to be right in your own self before you can help somebody else. Yeah. So. You got any advice for anybody to avoid kidnapping? Because you know you've been through it before, and it was just totally like completely out of the blue. I don't know if you have any advice on it. Like, it makes me think of those true crime stories where you hear of someone getting murdered and like you. Like don't think that'll happen to you or to anyone you know, but like it's real and it does happen to people.
Absolutely.
And they completely don't expect it. So I don't really have any advice on how to...
Don't talk to strangers and keep it on moving. Yeah. And try to have a walking buddy or something too. Yeah. You know? Yeah. How you feel about the people that's, you know, heavy on the drugs out here, Alice, and the prostitution and the dealing and the crime that's in Kensington right now? It's a lot going on out here.
I feel like a lot of those people come from very heavily traumatic backgrounds or very like unstable homes. So like I think that people who need help and assistance. Like I don't feel like contempt for them or anything like that. I know some people I look down on like drug users or people who do prostitution, but I think
they're human just like us. They're just going through.
I think there's backstories that people aren't considering or having empathy for.
Absolutely.
So
can I ask your ethnic background?
What?
Your ethnic background.
Half black, half white.
Okay. All right. I see you got the curly hair going on. That's why I had to ask.
Yeah, I've never had it this long before, but I've been growing to that.
Yeah. All right, Alice, we're going to wrap it up. Any last things you want to say? Last words? Anything, words of encouragement?
Stay blessed, stay grateful, and always cherish the good things that you have while you have them. And don't take them for granted.
Don't take them for granted. All right, Alice, please take care of yourself out here. All right?
Thank you very much.
Make sure you get to your destination safely.
Thank you. Pleasure meeting you.
And you were out. Yep. Nice meeting you too.
It's a danger zone. You in the middle of a war, only a banger home.